I like going to gaming events, soaking up the atmosphere, meeting big YouTubers, watching tournaments, or doing some shopping for new hardware. There's always a huge amount of things to do, but the main draw is always the latest AAA titles and the demos that developers bring to the show. But what happens if the public demo isn't very good? I'm Welshie, welcome to Theory Pop. It's no secret that game demos are rarer than they used to be. In the days before high-speed internet access, when watching a 2-minute trailer for a game would take the best part of an hour, consumers relied on demo discs attached to magazines to get a feel for new games. I myself was quite attached to Official Dreamcast magazine, and the dream on demo discs that came with each issue. Being able to get a taste of Sonic Adventure before shelling out with my pocket money on the full game was great. I liked the demo, so I bought the game. Pretty simple logic. Demos seem to have become more scarce, however. The majority of gamers have access to some form of high-speed internet, and as such, marketing from developers and publishers has changed. They can do away with the cost of manufacturing a physical disc, or even making a demo at all, and just upload reveal trailers and gameplay footage directly to the internet. YouTube and Twitch have become homes to streamers and influencers, some of the largest names receiving review copies of the game days or sometimes weeks before the official release, and developers rely on them to help form the early opinions of the title. That's not to say demos don't still exist. Bethesda have provided playable chunks of their games for people to try, including Doom, Prey and Dishonored 2. But look at the total numbers. On the US PlayStation Network store, there are 518 demos available for the PS3, and the PS4? 198. It's a similar story for Microsoft's console, 58 demo titles on Xbox One versus 284 on the 360. So why have the numbers dropped? Well, there's a couple of reasons. First, as mentioned earlier, access to broadband internet means most people are able to watch trailers and gameplay videos from the developers, and for many people that's enough to decide on buying a game. Second, it takes additional development resources to create a demo. You have to make sure you don't reveal too much of the story, maybe restrict the number of missions or activities, close off a section of the world, and make sure the player can't progress too far without buying the full game. Just look at what happened with Sega when they accidentally released the full version of Yakuza 6 instead of the demo back in February. And third, if the demo is bad, it's going to impact on your sales. So for many gamers, big trade events or gaming festivals, such as Gamescom, PAX or EGX, are the only way they can play a new title before it releases. So it's vital for developers to ensure that their demos for these events, which can have tens of thousands of visitors, are the best they can be. Which is where Ubisoft seems to have a problem. Back in August, I went to Insomnia 63, the UK's largest gaming festival. There were some big yet to be released titles there, including Shadow of the Tomb Raider and Smash Bros Ultimate. I was lucky enough to try some unreleased games, including Spider-Man and Assassin's Creed Odyssey. One of these demos was much better than the other. The Assassin's Creed Odyssey demo started poorly. It began with the character selection screen, where you can pick to play either Alexios or Cassandra. I decided to play as Cassandra, as did the two people I went to the event with. However, within 30 seconds, one of the Ubisoft reps came round and made us restart the demo because Cassandra was only level 1 and we'd get destroyed. Those were his actual words. We were supposed to play as Alexios, who was level 18 for the demo. First off, why bother having the character choice screen for the demo if we're only supposed to play as one of the characters? Why not have just the one character? Or if you must show the character selection screen, have it so that even if you try to select Cassandra, display a message on screen saying this character is not available for this demo. There was no indication that we were supposed to choose Alexios. Once in the demo, things got worse. I had no idea what I was doing. There were no prompts or tutorials to tell you what the controls actually were. There was a card on the desk next to the monitor with the controls on it, but I only had a 10-minute window to play the game. I didn't want to spend precious minutes reading and memorising the information before I could play. This probably isn't an issue for returning fans of the series, especially those who have played Origins, but if you're like me and haven't played many of the games, you'll struggle to figure out what you're doing. I managed to access a map and try and figure out where I was going, but I had no idea how to zoom in on my location or set waypoints. So I made my way to a ship that was highlighted on the map, but I didn't know what to do when I got there. I've seen trailers of sailing around the Mediterranean, but I didn't know how to do that. There was no prompt when I boarded the ship, no indication at all of what was supposed to be happening. If I wasn't supposed to do this in the 10-minute demo, it would have been nice to have something on screen to warn me. So after a few minutes wasting time in map menus and on a purely decorative trireme, I eventually found a fort filled with enemies. Great! So I tried to fight them, but I didn't know the controls. I died 4 times after getting frustrated with not knowing how to use certain abilities. Is there a way to block? How do I dodge? I have a bow, how do I fire arrows? I eventually figured out how to do the Spartan kick, but a minute later, the demo ended. So my 10 minutes of allocated demo time were wasted by selecting the wrong character, trying to figure out how to navigate and use the map, and dying while figuring out how to fight. I spent more time dead than alive. It just wasn't fun. Now compare this to the Spider-Man demo. This was a similar situation to Odyssey, a 15-minute time demo in an open world. However, the key difference was in how the demo introduced you to this massive playground. On-screen prompts the first time you do a thing. I knew how to web swing around the city within 30 seconds, how to find points of interest or missions within 2 minutes, fought a bunch of goons, and won within 5 minutes, completed 2 incidental side missions, and encountered a super awesome boss fight right at the end of the demo. There was no wasted time trying to figure out how to traverse the world or how to use web shooters in combat or hurl someone across a room. Just unobtrusive instructions at the side of the screen to show you exactly how to do what you want to do and lets you get on with it. The Spider-Man demo felt tailor-made for a large consumer event like this. When you've been queuing for an hour or maybe even longer to play a game, you want to get into the meat of what the game offers and feel awesome doing it. I actually ended up pre-ordering Spider-Man off the back of how good this demo session was. Assassin's Creed Odyssey, on the other hand, didn't do anything for me. If I'd had to wait in line for an hour to play a 10-minute demo, only to end up frustrated and dying over and over, I wouldn't have been very happy. Luckily, we chose a quiet day to go to Insomnia, so we only had to wait 5 minutes to get in to play the demo. But still, it left a sour taste and a poor first impression of a game I was really looking forward to. I'm sure Assassin's Creed Odyssey will turn out to be a fine game, but I feel like Ubisoft need to do a better job of making public demos for these types of events. If your demo is only going to be available at big events like PAX, it has to be accessible, explain quickly and concisely how to play, and let the player get on with it while making them feel cool and empowered. If the only thing they get to take home is an impression of an upcoming release, it had better be a positive one. Hey everyone, thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. It started out as an analysis piece but kind of devolved into a bit of a rant, but I hope you liked it nonetheless. If you'd like to see another of my videos, click the shiny box on the left or click my face up above to subscribe, and I'll see you next time.